Coming up on Drama Queens.
I have not gotten a theatrical audition from the agents I was with for over a year and a half, 2 years. It's so hard to be a white actor, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, no, it's not. Take it easy, you know?
Going into our showcase scene, I looked crazy.
Looked like a Vietnam vet.
Like a
I did.
Gandalf Dementor.
Like a...
Are we actors or we're trying?
No, we're actors. Okay, we're taking away the trying part.
Fourth year, my car blew up, and I was just scarred for the whole
That
day.
was insane. That's what it is to be in the writer's room. You throw out ideas, you believe in them.
Like, it's vicious.
writer.
The
You get
lion's
shit
den,
on.
as I like to call it. You know.
Yeah. And now, the episode.
I'm recording.
Max, take it away. Take it away,
Well,
Max.
thanks if you're listening. God help you. My name's Max.
I love how you always say "God help you." You know, it's so just.
Have
Anyway,
I said that before?
yeah, dude, you said like the last podcast. You were like, if you've listened to this, God help you. I love it, bro. It's so Jewish.
Do you even believe
just
in
kidding.
God? Do you believe in God?
But anyway, yeah, I'm Jeremy, and
My name is
This guy-
Ariarn.
there we go. And
Ariarn.
we're Calarts alumni, actors. We're doing a podcast. We Untitled yet, which is something I did want to bring up. If you guys, what do you guys think of like Actors Anonymous? Max hates it. I
Sounds
see.
like AA. That sounds like an actors AA.
Actors
like,
Anonymous.
It's like a little on the nose without any of the cheekiness that comes with on the noseness.
That's true.
For me.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, we don't have to
Just
brainstorm this
shut
now.
you
Okay,
down
I just wanted to
right
bring up.
away.
No, dude, that's what it is. That's what it is to be in the writer's room. You throw out ideas,
That's what
you
the writers-
believe in them.
Like, it's vicious.
writer.
The
You get
lion's
shit
den,
on.
as I like to call it. You know.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm just the gazelle, and sometimes I'm the lion.
I'm
It's
on the
okay. Holly, it's
tryhards,
showbiz, baby.
But my girlfriend doesn't like it. Paige doesn't like the tryhards, but I think it's funny.
Try Hard is funny. Like it makes me think of like Goonies. Like it's reminiscent of like
Yeah.
It's very
a
simple,
mischievous
but
boys group.
it's got a lot to it because obviously, the tripod. There's the aspect of the try with three of us, and then the pod is a shortened version of the podcast, and then we're trying
I know.
to be actors.
Yeah, there you go. And there's I think the Try Hard. There's
Or are we
connotations with
actors?
Die Hard. Everybody loves
Are we
Bruce
actors or we're
Willis.
trying?
No, we're actors. Okay, we're taking away the trying.
We're
part.
actors telling. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because the art
Everyone
is
else
valuable,
is
right? The
trying.
art is valuable even if there's no money tied to it. As long as you're acting, right? As long as you're still making TikToks, you're an actor.
Oh God.
Anyway, we don't have to figure out the name now. But anyway,
Yeah, that's probably a
So
good
what's-
idea.
yeah. To figure out the name now or to not figure out the name now?
No, to not figure out the name now is probably the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
It'll come.
I agree.
It'll
I
come.
agree entirely. So, I mean, how do you guys want to do it? Like, do you want to talk about, are
I
there
want to
things you
talk
wanted
about
to bring
each
up?
other first. How's everyone?
I'm good. I got to go to the movies today. It was fucking incredible.
Oh.
I mean, you're like
Yeah, how was
used to
Scott
that,
Pilgrim?
Jeremy.
The Dolby.
Man,
Yeah, that's true.
I actually brought you up, Jeremy, because
Me?
yeah,
Little
when-
old me?
Yeah, little old you when we were walking out of the movie. I fucking love Scott Pilgrim. It's like one of my favorites, and some of it ages weirdly, but Edgar
Me
Wright's
too.
so good. And I brought up how oh, you know what? The hissing might be my computer too. It gets loud. Whatever.
Should have got a Macintosh.
We'll figure it out. Here, I'll push it a little farther away.
Yeah. Ooh, I could always
had
EQ
this-
it and stuff, filter it.
Right. We had this conversation in college once about like, because you love my opinions and you would always get me riled up, and I've since gotten I'm a passionate guy. I've since gotten better about it. I'm still pretty similar, but
How can you be better about being passionate? It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
In college, I was very love it or hate it. I was never like middle on movies.
yeah.
It was either the best or
Yeah.
the worst. And now I can at least look at things and be like, it's But we were talking.
But real quick, Max, to interject, you never take it personally when someone
Are
disagrees
you
with
kidding me?
Well, for me, in my experience with Max, okay, we have very different conversations, clearly. Okay, sorry. Continue, Max.
No, because Ariane's more of an affront. No. It's one of my favorite things to do, to fight about art. Like, I love it. I love when people love what I hate, or even better, when somebody hates something that I love is like my favorite in the world. It is always interesting. But we had
learn thy enemy.
Yeah, right. We had this conversation in college, and I remember you basically arguing that any movie that gets made is good because you were like, I try and make movies and they're so hard to make coherent. And you're like, I have so much respect for any movie that can just coherently put itself together. And I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid, because then every movie's good. And you it's okay if a movie's coherent. Like, people can work really hard on something and it can still be bad, and that fucking sucks. But like, to me, that's not an excuse. So I was saying there's a point you have that's correct, in that it is an incredible thing to make a cohesive, like, to get a movie made takes so much work from so many people. It's incredible. And then to do what fucking Scott Pilgrim does, where every single thing is so intentional, the sound design and the, like, whatever, I could go on and on. It's all so cohesive, and there are these cuts that happen in the movie in a matter of seconds. And looking at it from a creative side, it's like the amount of different sets and shots that go into these montages that are like 5-second throwaway jokes. And Edgar Wright had to know, he had to have that vision so tightly in his head for presumably weeks apart. When you're filming on different locations, who knows when you're going to get to film one after the other. And it was like, so it made me think of, like, I don't necessarily, like, it is amazing to get a movie made, and then on the next level to do what Edgar Wright did with really all of his movies. But I just saw this one. It's like fucking crazy to me how tightly he pulled together all of his departments and made such a tightly made thing. Oh God, that movie's just, it's like, it's so singular in what it is. So anyway,
I know what you mean.
The opening credits rolled and I cried because I haven't been to the movie theater in a while, and it was legitimately emotional for me. And that's how I've been. But it was an amazing feeling to be back in the movie theater. I was so happy.
Yeah, I'm so glad you enjoyed it, dude. And you know what? I think it is incredible, like, when you do think about, like, oh yeah, like the set that had to go into it, just the thinking, the planning, just like you said, for like a fraction of a second. But can I just, before anything else, can I revise my argument? Because that is a stupid argument.
I knew he was going to do this. He was going to bring it back from 3 years ago. He's going to be like, let me just revise. I meant this. Conversation. And now we're going to talk about the argument.
This is like, movies are just good.
This is future Jeremy.
Man. They're just good
correcting old Jeremy.
All right.
And I'm like,
I think it's amazing if you get it made.
That's dumb.
Of course it can be bad. What I would say now is, of course it can be bad. But like, I think that's, I lack sophistication in the way I was able to express the thought at the time. I admire the people, right? Is it Theodore Roosevelt or FDR? I think it's Theodore Roosevelt, the man in the arena. I admire the person who gets the thing made and they put it up to judgment. But now, of course, even though it's admirable that you made a movie, there's so many shitty movies. And that's the thing. Present day Jeremy would say. I feel like to old Jeremy.
I feel like what Max was talking about is right. Like, it does take a lot of work to make a film. So that's not just making it coherent isn't enough. It's like, are you gonna? You know how much work it takes to make this film. Is your vision and story really that good, or is it something that needs to have that much time directed to it? If it's like, not something that's worth that time.
Yeah, and there's, if you throw enough money at it, anybody, like, there's enough bad movies out there that, to me, it's like, again, I do it recently, and then I want to hear how you two are doing, but I was talking with Paige, my girlfriend, about this recently, and I'm like, huh? Oh, I'm like,
I'm not gonna tell you.
The art that I've started, the art that I've started to gravitate towards more recently is less like the Oscar bait and the soul wrenching songs and stuff, and it's more just pieces that are unapologetically what they are. So like, there are some stupid movies that I just love because they lean in, somebody was yelling at me because I loved Godzilla versus King Kong, and I'm like, this is the first kaiju movie in a while that just
I wanna watch it.
It fully embraced big monkey punching big lizard. And then I just watched Mortal Kombat 11, which I would not recommend, and I'm a big fan of the games. And
Why?
Oh no.
because it was so self-serious. It was
Like
so
they took it
self-serious.
really serious. They didn't
And
even
the-
play
oh
to
my
the
god, there was so
gimmicky
much
aspect.
dialogue and the plot, and it kept plotting along, and then the fights were really cool. But the
Yeah.
Godzilla versus King Kong, the plot is like, we're gonna drill a hole to the center of the earth so we can get nukes, and it's like, right? It's like,
yeah.
it's like hell yeah, like whatever we gotta do to get the monkey and the lizard together, like I'm fucking here for
Yeah.
it. If you make it fun, I don't care
yeah.
if it's Oscar bait.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I love
Scott
that.
Pilgrim
Embrace
had
the
that
spirit of it.
aspect where like some of it aged tough, but it was so just unique. You will not find a movie. It's like a perfect comic movie. It adapts the comic book. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
art needs to be like good or gut wrenching. I just think it needs to, like, when there's a vision behind anything, whether it's a
Own it.
comic or whatever, right? If it knows what it is, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it these days.
Yeah, I love that, dude. And I think that's a good thing to admire, but
That- He
Really
is.
quickly, there's a movie coming out called Profile, and it's one of those all takes place on a desktop screen, like searching, and it looks, but it's about I'm shocked you did not get the casting call for this movie.
What is it? What is it? Tell me right now.
It's about like a ISIS like radicalist trying to get a journalist to join the cause, but the main guy's
Profile.
just like
It's coming out. Oh, it's coming out in
he's just this
2021.
beautiful Muslim guy, and I'm like, why did you not
Oh,
get
he's
the
a-
fucking call for this? At
Oh,
least.
dude. Oh, I've seen this.
Yeah.
I've seen of
Arion's
this.
agent is sleeping,
And
man.
I'm like, I don't know.
You
if
got to
the
go by
movie,
with an
like,
alarm
I'm not
clock.
saying one thing or the other about the
Wake
movie,
up.
but the role made me. I was like, where?
No, I actually got new managers, and they're actually amazing because they send me out
they're
for
working
stuff.
hard for
Dude,
you.
they're working really, really hard, and they've just been sick, like really, really sick. And they've honestly, because they're sending me out for stuff that's also shooting overseas, which is like what
Yeah.
I can do as well, like in Europe.
Yeah. That's
Which
that's
is
super
nice.
cool, dude. Just trying to get
Yeah,
your
dude.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of like agents and managers, man, do you guys want to talk about
In one
how
week,
things work.
Max and I, our whole
It all
representation
fell
changed.
apart. It all
But,
fell apart.
So
I
you
had
guys,
a-
wait, hold on. At the same time for both of
Dude,
you
we
guys?
went through a week. It was such by chance, dude. I'll tell you, this was ridiculous.
That's so funny.
Bro,
careful,
this
careful
story,
what
I'm-
you say though. Just
I know,
don't,
but it was amazing. I had a good time.
Yeah.
So
It'll be
we
good
got
to
a,
context for
we got
actors
a,
out there,
we got a scholarship to this acting
quote unquote.
acting studio, Zac Barnett studio. It's a really awesome studio actually, and like they have their fees
Great
are
studio. Great studio.
yeah, the fees are like
Shout out
normal,
to
like-
what was the teacher? He was fantastic. What was his name?
An acting teacher? It's not Zac
MCH.
Barnett?
MCH.
MCH.
Shout out to this guy,
MCH.
MCH.
He's
Yeah,
got to be a
dude.
director.
I'm trying to remember.
He
his
was
full
he
name.
looked
He's
he
like
looked he had
MCG,
the
the
director.
G.
He had like the very like
nailed it.
directory like vibe. Yeah, like he's
He would just say it like it was and give you the
Like,
notes in a
hey,
digestible. It was great.
he was good.
Yeah, I love that.
But
Clarity.
basically,
Like,
he
knew what
and
was
that's the
talking
thing. So
about.
he would have these like conversations with us and check-ins in the morning, like while we're just we give what something that we're surprised about. What was your
You
high?
just
What was
gave-
your low?
Yeah, high,
And then
low,
you
a
talk about your
surprise,
like
but it was
highs and
no
lows, and
bullshit.
like you,
No
but you
bullshit.
basically, yeah, you get an understanding of like what other actors are like going through when they would talk about their representation or auditioning or stuff like that. Like people would have
Yeah.
questions about that, and one of
Yeah,
them
they
was
wanna
like
know
to
how it
do.
works.
Yeah, one of them was to do with like management and representation and like what our managers, are supposed to do for us and like what we have ability to do in that realm, and just like how to negotiate, navigate certain relationships with managers. And basically,
Yeah.
we both decided to look at ours essentially, or at least mine, and then it was like it was perfect because it was almost like what my manager and I both knew. It was like time to just cut it and you know, call it quits.
Well, you
And
were.
Wow.
I was
if
trying to get him.
Ariane was calling me for a week straight, like.
Yeah.
I'm losing sleep over this. I'm stressing.
I needed to
I don't
just
know
do
how
it.
to tell my manager to cut him loose. And you kept trying to talk to
Yeah.
your manager, and he was
I
a
thought
really
it would have
busy
been
guy.
such an awkward conversation.
And then he
dude.
sent
because
you,
he's
sent
a
you
nice
a
guy.
really kind email. He sent you
A really kind,
email.
yeah. He sent
saying,
me an email, and low key, it was like
see
I
where
feel
this
like
is
my
going,
agent.
and let's not pretend. I wish you the best, but clearly, it was really professional.
We wanted different things.
Yeah,
it
it's
was like it was
this
like
just
we
isn't
wanted
working
different.
out. This just isn't working out between us,
Yeah.
and I want the best for you, and clearly I'm not it, and let's just split weight. But I was impressed.
It was
how
it was sincere, and I think
Yeah.
my agent like basically told him essentially, yeah, just
Wait, so like
Maybe.
he saw your career differently than you did, like the way your career played out over the next whatever 5 10
I don't
years.
know. I don't know. Maybe it was more so for me. It was like I think just the communication thing, and like maybe he's not a manager that works in that sort of manner, like where you know, because he's
okay.
got a lot to. He has like a lot on his plate as well, and where his
Yeah.
actors I think we're at is a different manager to where I need to be right now. I think, and
yeah.
like
in the
so
sense of like
basically-
you wanted to communicate more.
I wanted to but I also wanted them to be like a little bit more hands-on, you know. And like so now my managers, I have two of them essentially, and
Yeah.
like they're amazing. So I'm
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Brave Artist Management, and like a lot of people from their book, and just from the meeting that I had with them, it was like really just the way they spoke about kind of how they submit was amazing. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
like the transparency made you feel like, oh, okay, I understand.
And
what
how
our
hard
relationship is.
they told me the exact procedure of like how they actually submit you and pitch you, you know, and how they
Yeah.
get breakdowns the day before, and how they like basically, yeah, it's like they pitch them every time, and they're always in contact with each other, like, and they're always talking. It's not like a separate thing. They all kind of use all their networks, and that's why I think
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people
That's wild.
they have a good roster of people who are booking stuff, and there was no one like me, so I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I
Yeah.
wish you the best in that transition. Okay, and then what happened with Max's representation
it's
story?
a bit of a
It's a
I
bit of a
just was
doozy.
I want to be very careful about what I say.
Ooh, baby, yeah. It's,
I shook the boat a little bit. I have, since we graduated from Calarts in 2018, I have gone out for probably less than 10 movie and TV show auditions. And for the first year, I was kind of too scared to say anything, and I was a little green behind the ears. And, you know, when we were graduating, it was Calarts, we as kids, essentially, like, just really hyped up representation. Like, the goal of graduating was to get represented, right? So I was just thrilled to have representation, and the time went by, and I talked to my manager and or my managers, and they could tell I was getting a little antsy. And I said to my managers, you know, I'm like, send me your submit reports, and they sent me what they were submitting me for, and it was awesome stuff. They submitted me to be I'll tell you guys after, because it's not to the
I know what
yet.
it is. I
And
know what it is. It's jokes.
Spoiler
oh my
alert.
god, it would have been.
it's a
You
joke.
can you say it and then we'll like just blurt it out?
No, it was a
Because that's
it was
funny
a-
because you can get Jeremy's
It was
reaction.
a role on a popular Jewish show. It was a role on a very popular, like, Jewish-based show.
Jewish show.
Can I say it? Am I allowed to say it?
No, just later.
Oh.
But anyway, they submitted me for all these excellent roles, and I said to my manager, I'm like, look, I really appreciate it. Clearly, you're submitting me. Keep doing it, but also, like, I need to be going out for the 3-line cashier roles.
We
Like,
need to tell him about this one.
Yeah, I need to be going out for, and they did. My managers just sent me one that Ariane happened to audition for the same show.
We're not even allowed to speak about that script.
No, we
huh?
shouldn't. But it was like a delivery guy. It was like a delivery role, and I said they heard me. My agents, you know, and my managers, I love them, and it's not fully their job to just book me. I love that they're submitting me all the time, but, you know, they're kind of career shapers and all of that. The agent's job is to be booking me. I have not gotten a theatrical audition from the agents I was with for over a year and a half, 2 years. and the main
Wow.
excuse I kept hearing was that I was white. And I'm like, that's kind of, it's not kind of, it is bullshit. I watch a lot of TV and movies. I see a lot of young white male actors that I've never seen before. Like, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. I get the industry's changing for the better, and I'm way about it. But like, they're acting like there's just no roles for white boys now, and I'm like,
You know,
that's not
funny enough,
true.
have you read the SAG?
A lot of people talk like that.
The SAG like checklist that you have to do with a lot of the shows nowadays.
Like
I
SAG
literally
is Screen Actors Guild for
Yeah.
anyone who doesn't know.
right
Now
right,
we can
right,
report sexual assault in the app. Thank God.
Damn.
That was the one.
No,
feature
but this
we
was
were
not. But like
missing.
in the thing, it's like it said. I think I have to read the exact things, but it talks about how many like people of color and other. So it's like women is at the top, and then it's like all kind of the different Black, Hispanic, or Latino, or Latinx, Asian, South Asian, all of that. Like it has all of that, and it's like about. It has to be almost half the cast has to be people
Yeah,
of color in
sure.
that.
That's
So do
interesting.
you think
I should read
sometimes
that.
they literally
nuts.
just recycling the same people, or they're actually still like putting new people on?
I mean, you know, who knows? It's the same. There's a ton of actors you see on TV shows that just suck, and
And
they're
also,
on a
like,
ton of
child
shows,
actors.
and then there's a ton of new
Yeah.
people. I don't, but I'm not opposed. Like that's the thing. It's I don't know. I had one other white actor friend, and he's like, it's so hard to be a white actor, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, no, it's not. Take it easy, you know. You're fine, right? You're fine. But I just knew it was, that's, you know, they were going to keep telling me that. And so I had my managers reach out and say like, hey, you know, they brought on these 2 new agents, and I tried to contact them and meet them, and they never met me or contacted me. And my managers just said like, how's it going with Max theatrically? We're just checking in. And one of the agents basically said, I think we should part ways. Like, and it was very amicable. And then 20 minutes later, the agency contacted my managers and said, we want to drop him across the board. We want him totally out. And my managers were kind of blindsided, and they're like, we were just talking theatrically, like you said, only theatrically. Long story short, I'm still with them commercially, but we've parted ways. The voiceover is a hit. That one really blows. They sent me a lot of good voiceover auditions, and
Damn,
I'm going to keep looking. It's chill, but they were, you know, they said I didn't book many voiceover stuff the day before the trailer for my AAA video game, not mine, but the AAA video game that I'm in is going to come, you know, like, it was like, what do you mean I'm not booking things? But, you know, again, that's, I'm hoping I'm not saying too much. I don't think if this gets out, that's too bad. But yeah, it's like, there's a lot of politics that went into it. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, I
That's the
kind of
Hollywood
shook the boat
BS, dude.
asking for auditions, and they just fucking booted me out the door real quick. So tomorrow I have a meeting with new agents. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping it works out well.
We'll see.
And it gets you in a
It's a
situation
meeting
where
for me
you're.
too, though. You know what I mean? I'm really
feeling
psyched to be
good.
going
Yeah,
into
oh,
it
yeah.
now. When I met with the agency I was with, I just wanted representation so bad, and now I know if
Exactly.
you have
Yeah.
representation
We rush
that's
into the
not
things.
good,
Don't rush into it.
Yeah.
right? Like you need to find the right fit. So I'm excited to finally be going into a meeting like this where I've got.
And you also know now what you need to ask. Like your initial meeting with an agency, you're going to ask a limited and a type of question. You're going to be like, what do you see me as and everything. Now you can at least ask questions like that. You know exactly what you need to see
Right.
from an agent, right?
What are those questions though? Like
What are
if
those
somebody was
questions?
like,
That's what I was trying to set. I was trying to set him up to
Oh,
answer.
you were trying to say-
I
oh, okay.
alley-ooped him
So-
and he did not even dunk it, bro. He just said right. He just said right.
Bro, that's why you're not
That's
going
how
to be
you got-
LeBron, bro. That's why
how
you're
we
just
got
like.
I gotta
Jeremy
go call
took
my
the
managers.
rebound.
I would say
Hello?
for starters, it's important to know how many people like you are on the roster, which you just brought up with your
Yes,
managers.
yes.
I think it's super important.
So
to say.
Jewish white males with afro.
Well, yeah, sure, to an extent, but like how many people in my niche, you know, whatever. I've got the stoner,
Yeah.
all the roles I go out for, but like how many people in my niche
Yeah.
are in the agency? What's their age range? if you get a stoner or a skateboard role or this delivery guy role, how many other actors along with me are you going to consider? And if it's a huge amount, it's like, it might not, I don't have enough credits to my name or enough clout to be where they're like, let's throw Max in the mix when they've got 5 other actors that constantly book.
Yeah.
It's all about, because they know your energy and they know that you're like marketable, which you are. So it's like and the right agents and the right managers will look at that and put that and be like, yo, even though he doesn't have credits, his energy, your energy, how your acting skills, all of that is going to be.
I think it's about niche. It's about niche, but learning what is your submit process. What do you do to pitch? I think that's a big thing with me, right? What relationships do you have, and what are you going to do?
All of them. It's like,
if you send me out for a role you think I'm a good fit for, and they don't even look at my audition, what are you going to do to get me in the room? Are you just gonna submit me and wait until one comes, or are you gonna find roles you think I'm good for? Because again, and you'd think on our end it's a no-brainer. If I make money, you make money. But I get it. They're busy. It's an intense. Being an agent is an intense thing too, and they're really busy. So just even, do we vibe?
Really
do we get along? And do you want me on your team? The meeting. I think it's super important. And what I'm thankful to know now is, like, I don't have to go in this meeting nervous. It's like, if there's not a space for me on your roster, that's not a bad thing. I don't need to be there then. Like, and that's totally fine. It's not a negative, but it would be a negative if I signed onto a roster and all of a sudden I'm locked into a contract for even half a year or a year, and it's like you're not able to pitch me effectively, right? It's like so I think just
a waste of
your
time.
Yeah.
You know what's wild, dude, is like I listened to Stay at Homekins.
Stay F Homekins.
I just listened to their last episode
Stay
too.
F
I need to listen to it.
Yeah,
I haven't heard the most recent episode.
Was it the Hustle Muscle one, Ariane? Is that the one you listened to, or is it newer? It might be newer.
I think it was the one about this guy. Oh, he talks about like this. He was on this show and he was listing himself as a credit, and it was an old credit. And some guy gave him stick for using an old credit, and he's like, it's a good credit. Like, what
they're
am I
both
gonna
great.
do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I
resonate,
I resonate with that because, bro, my biggest credit is low key the Hendrix Project. That's like the biggest.
Yeah. That is cool though. You got to go to New York and like freaking work with Roger and everything.
I always bill it as the public theater.
I'm like,
the public.
Was it like
theater.
in association with the public?
Yeah,
It was under the radar.
It was
under the radar
it was
festival.
presented by the public theater.
There you go.
They signed off on it and everything, but it was at another venue.
And so also for context,
I put that shit down as public theater, and
that's sick though. No, I was just gonna say, for context, for anyone who would listen, it's a show that Max and Ariane were in at Calarts, directed by Roger Gwenbeer Smith, who runs in circles with Spike Lee. Now, what I was gonna say about
there's photos of him with Bob Marley and shit.
That's crazy.
He runs in a lot of circles.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's like in that world. But whatchamacallit? No, it was just funny hearing the episode I listened to. Mm-hmm. His wife was like ranting about how for like 10 years nobody wanted to represent her. She couldn't even find no one went, like, people just said no, they rejected her. Mm-hmm. She had to keep on working. And I was like, wow, it's so insane to me. I mean, on one hand, I'll hear your guys' struggles and frustrations, and it's like, oh wow, that sucks. But then also from another perspective, it's amazing that you guys have had representation, are gonna have representation. I mean,
dude, what was your experience like?
Green Wheel.
What was your experience like after thinking?
Dude.
Because tell them about your story, man. This guy's story is crazy, bro. It's a nut story. Because I'll tell you why. Because just starting from our showcase scene. What was our showcase scene about, bruv? We manifested it by writing it and literally performing it. The universe couldn't tell the difference, so they made it happen for you, bruv. And look at
but you know what's so funny, dude, is like going into our showcase scene, I looked crazy. Like, now
you were in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
You were in a wheelchair. You were in a
Yeah,
wheelchair.
you were literally, and it was
Dude,
a
I
scene
would
about
see-
dancing.
No, it wasn't a scene about dancing until the guy just made it into a dance.
I know,
would-
yeah, like it was
Dude,
like
it
a
was not
romance
about
between
dancing.
me and
Carl or
Ari.
whatever.
Dude, he made it a and it was like it was supposed to be in an apartment, normal.
Carl Bird McLaughlin, and it was a dance studio. That's yeah, it's hilarious.
It was,
It's
and do you
hilarious.
know how excited we were? He was just like, "Hey, how about you guys are dancers in a
This is the
dance
space we
studio.
got
This is the
to
space we got
record
to
in.
do your
So
stuff." And he was like
You guys are
excited about
dancers now.
the hockey game or something, bruv. Mad guy.
yeah, I know, but it's okay. But anyway, dude, like going into the scene though, I looked like such a hobo at that time, where like I just had like the longest beard. I had long hair that was tied. I had like all these piercings.
You look like a
and
Vietnam vet. You look
I
like
look
a
like a
young
Viet-
Vietnam vet. You really did. You had like a crazy look about you, man.
You
I
did,
did.
you did.
I
you
did have a crazy
And
look.
you had a
and
fucking your stick, bruv, your crutch.
Oh yeah, I used the cane.
Dude,
I used the
you
cane when I
literally used the
could.
cane.
With
Yeah.
the
And you'd wear
movement.
these
That
long
look
cardigans.
in the wheelchair, and you had a
Dude.
crazy fucking look about you.
like a
I did.
Gandalf
did.
Dementor.
Like a Gandalf Dementor. But it was crazy because I knew I would kind of be received better visually if I cleaned all that stuff up. But I was in such a weird mindset of like, no, like this is me, and I'm gonna just be me, and that's it. But I think everything worked out the way it was supposed to, because like I don't think any agencies reached out to me after our showcase. It was only 2 managers in LA. And no, I think I had a couple meetings in New York, but like that was like, but I'm not gonna move to New York.
Right. We were.
And then one manager was like, I was like, nah. But he did say that thing that kind of Max was bringing up, where he was like, yeah, like what I tell all my clients is like, yeah, being a white guy in Hollywood, and this guy, the manager was half white, half Latino, and he goes, being a white guy, you got to work 10 times as hard to try to get roles. So like,
up.
because all the white people are established and blah blah blah. It's such a weird. It's so
man,
weird
it's
that
so
goes
stupid.
around. I know. But anyway, and then I had one manager. I was only in LA for like a hot second, but like, I don't know. It's weird to think about.
Why'd
Like, I
you
don't know
leave?
what my experience would have been. Well, I left because I fell in love and I saw Hollywood, and I was like, I just kind of was like, you know what? I don't think this life is the life for me
Yeah,
to be
dude.
here.
There you go.
But yeah, and also
And look at you
also
now, bro.
I know. Well, hey, we're all together and we're keeping
Right,
each
we're
other
back.
motivated.
But it is a.
But-
oh no, you go on.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I very much had a mindset, like very naively, like in high school and into college, of like hoping that there would be like that things would just kind of happen. Like I think a lot of us do growing up, and I didn't realize that it really is like a 10-year, 20-year, like a lifetime
journey.
slog of like committing, and you don't know if it's gonna pay off, but it's not about that, and like all this stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, and like I feel like in a way like that's still a part of me. Like I'm still trying to have that journey that I think you guys are on, but like
Well, I mean,
just, I
both
guess,
of ours
throughout
have been-
wherever the
but-
world takes me.
But that's the thing. It's like to realize that everyone's journey is so different. Like my journey to Max is so different. I had to overcome. Like my first initial thing was getting a visa. So it's like a whole different
Yeah.
approach to everything. And it's like once you
Yeah.
get the visa, then it's like you're here now. So I feel like you're obliged in some way.
Well, it was,
Yeah.
you've had a crazy. The visa's a whole other crazy thing, because
Yeah.
it was the.
They only-
for
after
lack
you
of a better
graduate-
term, it was a MacGuffin for you. Like you
What
really.
the hell is a MacGuffin?
It was the thing you needed. It was the object. Like in a movie.
That's a MacGuffin.
Like in a movie, when everybody's trying to get one object, like in Star Wars, they're all trying to get the key or whatever.
Yes. That's a
So
MacGuffin. You call it a
your
MacGuffin.
thing that you needed, your life was revolving around this visa, and then you got it, and you realized
Yeah.
it was a blessing and a curse, because all of a sudden you can't work unless it's in the arts legally
Yeah, literally.
because of your visa.
Yeah,
You-
and I
you-
stick to that
Yeah.
rule. I do that. I've never
No, of
broken that rule
course.
ever.
I know.
Ever.
Yeah,
But it's
and you're
'cause it's
able to
like-
be okay.
Because all of the sudden you have this artist visa, what an amazing thing, and then it's like, shit, I can't even wait tables to support myself. The
No,
only
literally.
way I can make money is
So it motivates you.
the
It definitely
arts in
motivates
Hollywood, right? Necessity is
That's
the
a deep
mother of
hole you've dug
invention or
yourself.
whatever.
But it's
In acting school, we
works.
call that raising the stakes.
I think Calarts did an absolutely horrendous job of preparing us for the real world. The
Does
artistry-
can any college really prepare you for
I
the real
think
world?
some can.
I don't know.
I mean,
You'd
there
have
could
to
be
be so
classes
integrated.
I don't
You'd
know.
have to be
Management.
so
even
integrated
if it's
into LA.
connections or
No, they should have sent us out to actual auditions in LA.
Well,
That's how you learn.
And you know,
And put us on set.
There's a teacher that I don't want to name by name, but you two will know who I'm talking about. That really went out of her way to fill our heads with "You're all stars, baby," and it's you've got talent,
AKA my
and
favorite.
It's only, but you know, there's and I get
I'm a
it
star.
because the training
am
the
talented.
training was incredible. I wouldn't change it for the world, but the moment you get into the industry, all of the sudden you're being asked to market yourself. You have to understand it is
Business.
wildly commercial. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's business.
Yeah, you
And
have to
it's-
understand it.
It's tough as an artist, and like I get it. It's not, my bag by any means, but all of a sudden it's like I have no clue how to talk to my agents about anything because this is
Yeah.
a business relationship and I have only been schooled on technique.
Well, you know what? In the same way, I kind of see, I don't know, sometimes the way I navigated some of my relationships at school with teachers is almost a little bit in a similar vein to my agents, in at least in terms of like what is said
'Cause
about
you were
acting.
fighting to get a good grade.
Well, I need no, but I genuinely like to
No,
develop
that's a joke.
relationships with
It's a
them.
joke,
I know, but
folks.
It is.
That's
Yeah,
a
which is
joke.
It is
He
true.
was-
No,
he
no,
was
it
doing
is
his
true
job.
because I have brown parents
no
and they
grades at
expected me.
Calarts.
Well, my brown parents expected
They're looking
me
at your art
to
school
come
report
first.
card.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding me,
there's
bro?
no
They wanted
real grades at
They were
Calarts.
saying high pass. They were saying they were like, "What is that?" I was like, basically 99%.
The amount of times my parents demanded I get them a GPA, and I'm like, we literally
We could.
like,
You can work it out though.
can't-
I had to. No, you can.
Well, right, and I'm like, then it's like 3 point. Like
Just
who-
say 3.9.
who among us was not getting. You know what I mean? Like, oh man.
It's like, whose line is it anyway, man? The grades are made up. The GPA doesn't matter.
Don't say that, bruv. I
Yeah.
told I graduated top 1%, whatever that means.
Okay, okay.
I'll
All
be-
high passes.
To be blunt, I would say the three of us were among the harder working. Not that we were the hardest working, but there were people in our class that worked
I worked
incredibly
hard
hard,
at that school.
and there were people that
Yeah.
kind of coasted through, and I not. Not at all in what we worked hard. We worked really hard.
Yeah.
Except for fourth year, I worked hard.
Yeah.
Fourth
You were
year,
like,
fourth
I'm
year,
gonna
my car blew up,
transition.
and I was just scarred for the whole
That
year.
was insane.
Yeah,
that was
that was crazy.
insane when your car just blew up.
Bro, and it was so early on in the year that I was like, bro, I'm recovering the whole year. I could have died.
I know.
Right.
I know, dude. Like, so Ariane had a Mercedes that he had parked in the apartments where he was
It was
living.
my
and it
uncles
blew
who
up.
lent it to me.
And it blew up 3 other cars
Bro,
that were nearby.
It caught on fire.
Burned down a part of the parking
Burn-
lot.
The whole parking lot, and then they tried to get me to pay for it. I was like,
Tried to
where are the
make you
cameras?
pay
They
it.
were like, oh, it was turned away. And the thing is, I only had liability insurance. So
No, that was
That
fucked.
is-
that
that
was
is-
not good, man.
yeah. It was
That is a
crazy.
trial.
Anyway,
in
I'm
life.
still here, and
That is
I
for sure.
survived.
Yeah.
I survived. They tried to take
Yeah,
me
dude.
down, but I'm still
Trials
here.
and tribulations.
They just
Yeah,
don't know
dude.
my address.
But
Praise. Alhamdulillah, bro.
I guess what I'm
For real.
getting at is there was almost a disappointment because I had a bit of a chip on my shoulder graduating. This cockiness that I worked so hard in school, and I get it, right? Like I spent these 4 years working my ass off, and now let's go seize it. And all of a sudden I realized that hard work I did, which was so important, which is for technique, which should I ever be blessed to get cast in, a long-term role or something, I will rely on. But I felt it's tough realizing that work is not going to get me the role. Getting the role is an entirely different commercial beast that
Yeah.
I think, and do you think that's where Calarts prepared you for when you book the role?
Yes, and
Well, also,
we were
I do think in auditions, like I feel like
Yeah.
I do make
Yes.
bolder choices, and you're like risking it and stuff,
auditions
but-
are not. The only stress in auditions is the prospect of money. Being like, I'm broke right
Yeah.
now, and if I book this, it would pay my bills for the next 4 months. But
Yeah.
absolutely, I get good feedback all the time about the choices I make. Yeah, I mean, the training we got was immense, and we were talking about this a few weeks ago, Ariane, how like you know, in this class we did, the teacher was kind enough, I guess, to give me a role that I wouldn't normally be cast as. And it was one of those things where you realize the technique, and we were talking about like how much energy and craft it actually takes to believably and charismatically carry a show. So we were talking in terms of a TV show. If you're cast as a lead, it's more than what it seems like sometimes. It you can be a good actor in one regard. It's like voice acting. There's a lot of amazing, talented actors on camera, and then they get behind a microphone only, and the performances are like, uh-oh. And
vice versa.
and vice versa. In every facet, there's
We've
people
seen
who
that.
can excel in movies, and then all of a sudden they have to stretch that out over 10 episodes of television, and it's a whole other ballgame. I say as somebody who's never had to do any of these things, but from what I understand,
We would listen to interviews.
right? And it's that's where I think we are at least prepared to. We have definitely got something we will be able to fall back on. Not that other actors don't, but that once we get that opportunity, whenever it comes for any of us, when we get that TV show, how easy or how nice it will be to be able to go, this I know how to study a script, and I know how to break this down and make my choices, and this I worked hard on. But fucking telling, meeting the commercial side of things, just it's a whole other fucking whole other
but I think the key thing in this is like you always, whether you train at a school or you take classes and really invest your time in there, it's like really take the time to learn the craft and develop a technique.
Yeah.
Because I think there are a lot of actors that do just come out here and maybe like will be like, I'm going to learn on the way, and I'll learn on set, and I'll learn in auditions. Nah, just take the class. Take a good class, though. Don't just take any class. It's like take a really good class that you've heard good reviews about, and like fall into that. Because even when you've trained afterwards, we said it, Max, like the thing is like you want to just train that muscle, and that's what it is. It's a muscle, and it's building confidence, right?
You could be the fastest person in the world, and you still want to put yourself in a good pair of gym shoes. Like you still want to give yourself the tools to do what you do best, the best that you can do it. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, dude. I just there was a kid who reached out to me, and he's like, he just got into Calarts, and he's like a 17-year-old from Toronto.
Are you wearing the
He saw
hat?
one of my Calarts weekend, bruh.
He
I wear
is.
it all the
He's
time.
repping.
I
Dude,
am.
you were there?
But I was there, mate.
That's so
But
cool, bro.
he was like, he just wanted to ask me questions and stuff, and like I mentioned like the Steve Martin quote to him. It's like, so many people ask me, how do I become famous, or how do I make it? So few people want to know, how do I become really good? And I agree with these guys where, I mean, what's the point of even trying to get on camera and do anything if you're not 100% confident in your ability to really, right, just deliver
Convey
a quality
it
performance.
good,
Yeah. And also something I wanted to say to show how hard of a worker Max is. I remember, dude, the very first week at CalArts,
Jesus.
before
You
classes
love
even
this story.
started,
You fucking love
I
this
run in. I
story,
love to
man.
tell it. I love to tell it just
But
because
I was
it's just
cocky.
like,
I did it because I thought I didn't
But
know what I
no.
was doing.
no, but Max,
What did he do?
regardless of where you did it, to me, it
Alright,
actually
tell-
was
you
like,
gotta
oh, this
tell
guy's
the
a hard
story first.
worker.
Fucking
Max, I remember your
absurd.
haircut too, dude. Your haircut was like,
Dude,
such
I
a,
saw a
like,
picture.
it was
I saw
like
a
an
picture.
army, like Sarge
Oh
kind
my
of
god,
cut.
I must have the photo. Please, it just showed up the other day, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I'd
But
short.
I ran into Max the first week of school before classes, and he's like, do you know which of these rooms you can rehearse in? Because we had to have monologues performed on the first day of class, and he just wanted to practice his monologue more. There's the haircut, dude. There's the haircut. I remember
That's
too, I
in a
took you to get
critical
Filipino
studies
food,
class.
and you were wearing that.
I still
Yeah.
have that shirt.
It's a good shirt. But yeah, so before anything started, Max was like, let me work on this monologue. Oh my gosh, though. If I could do Calarts again, I would have worked on monologues and scenes so much more than I did.
Would have done shit different for sure. But it's that live and learn. And I do think, I guess, because you brought up that, I guess, the theme we've touched on of, like, before you're ready. Because I do, speaking of doing Calarts over again, I went right out of high school when I was a fucking kid. And it took me a year and a half. It took me basically halfway through second year before I really, I took it serious and this and that. But halfway through second year, I really realized, like, you can't think of this like college. You're paying to be here. You're not like, oh, I have to go to speech class. Like, you fucking get to, man. You get to go study speech right now. And if you sleep on this shit, you're going to regret it. And I think, so to bring up that TV show thing, if you get, I think, at least for me, I know me personally, and this is with all the training we've done, if I book a project, like I've got this movie coming out and my performance is rough and it's like legitimately tough for me to watch. There's a legitimate aspect of like, I don't know if I didn't prep right for it or whatever. There's a million things you could blame, but like, if you get the role at the wrong time or the one that isn't right for you, there can be consequences to, even if people, just for yourself, like, just knowing, I don't know. Like, I feel like
you're going to do so many projects, Max. You are not going to, you might remember this as like a little glimmer. Do you know how much it's like remembering a moment or something, some side project you did at your time in Calarts. In your grander scheme of your career, you're not even going to like, it's going to be a little blip.
Sure.
So that's the thing, it's like,
I think that'll be the case.
Of course, for all of us, like a lot of these things are just going to be small blips. And it's like at the time that they're happening to us, it feels as though it's like, holy shit, this is going to dictate the whole rest of my life, and it's like, I can think of so many things that have happened in my time, like after graduating, where I was like, that could have, and I was just like, it's just it's so pointless, because you come to it now and they always tell you like, well, what would you tell your younger self or like yourself in the back? I'll be like, bro, just relax on things. Chill out. Trust me, what's meant for you is really and truly meant for you and will only be for you. So just trust that it'll come there. And
Jeremy,
what's up?
If you had to pinpoint 1 to 3 things, you said with such conviction you would do Calarts differently. I'm just curious if you could boil it down to 1 to 3 things that, like, I don't know, which I know is a fucking tough question, but are there any outstanding, like, you mentioned you'd do monologues differently, and I'm not sure what you wouldn't do Tai Chi. You wouldn't do Tai Chi when asked to do gesture work.
I would definitely do.
Oh my god.
200% more Tai Chi.
In that monologue itself, what would you have changed? Or you just be like, that's not the monologue I'm talking
more
about.
Tai Chi.
Okay, so the monologue, I mean, the text
you gotta
of it
tell
was
the
like,
story. What was the assignment? What was the assignment? How did you take on the assignment?
Our brilliant teacher, Nataki Garrett, gave us, and then Jeremy, I want to hear your answer, but God, this story makes me laugh every fucking time I think of it.
It is incredible.
Our teacher, Nataki Garrett, told us to do, we had monologues we'd been working on for a few weeks at that point, probably, and finally she introduced gesture work, and if...
Jose Rivera, right?
It was Jose Rivera
monologues,
text,
and they were wild monologues, but
amazing. I love
gesture work is like
beautiful prose.
It's okay. The clearest image I can think of is when you do an Italian accent and then you do that thing with your hands. That's a gesture. That's
we store stuff in our bodies.
Just applying gestures. So learning the
meaningful. Physical articulation.
Opening up where you
crack your neck, or just finding ways to articulate emotion with your body. So we all
Take it away, Jeremy.
my God,
So we all
we
no.
all
The
do
interpret the
gestures.
assignment was explore the monologue physically.
and
Through-
Jeremy was he had found a new passion for Tai
What was your
Chi.
passion, Jeremy?
He had found a passion for Tai Chi.
Dude, I've been doing it every day for the past few weeks, and I feel great, by the way.
Since that monologue, it never stopped.
Jeremy walked up and started his monologue and straight up did a 5-minute Tai Chi sequence
To a sex monologue.
with one break to hump a fucking chair. And then he went right back into
Dude.
the Tai Chi. And we were all like, I
what
remember
was it
I
like?
was not breathing.
It's all about sex.
I was not breathing during the moment. I'm just sitting there like, Nataki's gonna
I was like,
murder
this is the
him.
craziest shit I've seen all year.
Nataki's gonna murder this guy. And she was very kind with you. She was like, that's not what I meant by gesture work. And it was just I remember it so vividly. You starting to speak and just melting down in your feet and starting to do the hands in front of the face. And I'm like,
I have a question.
oh no.
I have a question for you, Jeremy. Was your
What is it?
Was your interpretation of that because of the fact that you know
So
how they
funny.
always spoke about integration between the classes? You know how they say your speech work should inform your acting, your movement
your
work should inform your
yoga,
acting.
your yoga informs
Your yoga
speech
should
and-
yes, your yoga should do all of this. Yeah, when you speak clearly, you're relaxed in a state and you're
Or
mindful of
did
it.
you just
Were
not
you
know
just
what you
like,
meant by
fuck it?
gestures?
Yeah, which one was it?
I don't even remember what I was thinking, and honestly, I don't even remember the chair part. I only remember doing
Just
Tai Chi to
instinct.
the monologue. But I think that the reason I did that was because the monologue itself was so overtly sexually
Sexual.
explicit. I didn't want to just be doing nasty, horny shit the
Right.
whole time.
When you were,
And so
you
I
were
was
very
like, I
religious
didn't know
at the
what to
time
do.
as well.
Yeah, that's true, bro. I was
And
still
I
going to
remember
church
that
like
was
twice a week.
That was a tough. I remember you said you didn't want to do the monologue at all. To me, or
Did I say that to you?
yeah,
To-
I mean,
did I say it in class?
You
Or I said
were
it to
you were like you were ready to tackle it. Like, I'm not saying like you were by any means like, I hate this, I'm gonna quit. But you definitely expressed to me, you're like,
Yeah.
I don't talk like
was
this. I
not my
don't think like
favorite
this.
one.
Like, I don't enjoy inhabiting, which is of course what it's all about. But I do want to hear the things that
crazy.
you would do different if you could try and put it into words, because I'm so curious.
If we could pinpoint it, dude, that's so crazy. I don't even. Maybe I was just putting on an act for you, Max. I don't know. Maybe I wanted to seem like a good Christian boy, because I don't remember actually having these reservations.
Until he
I
smoked
just didn't
weed.
want to come off like a creep. I know. Then I'm like,
Sure.
whatever, dude. Laissez-faire. But no,
I remember
dude, I
you
think.
praying at Chick-fil-A before our meals.
Yeah.
good to pray
Sometimes
before
I still
meals.
will pray before meals, but
Sure.
like as
It's
a
good.
gratitude.
I think it's
you know,
good.
like oh,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
happy
that's
I'm getting
I think
fine.
it is good.
But a lot of times I forget.
I should specify. I'm not making fun of anybody who.
Hey, you're
prays
making
before
fun of us,
meals.
mother.
It's just it's a.
Oh,
you
yeah.
have.
No, I'm just kidding.
I am giggling at how much the Jeremy I know has changed. You're
I know.
not that you of
It's
course
crazy, dude, you know?
want gratitude and all that, but you're a totally
Yeah, you
different
know,
guy. You're such a
know.
different guy
We
than the
open it to
guy
different
I
people.
knew first
So
year
what
of
would
college.
you would you read
You're
more? I
so
would read more
CalArts
books.
transformed me. Yeah, I mean, for sure I'd read more. That's like definitely one thing, is I definitely read way more books, plays, more movies. You know, I would have used the film library so
Dude,
much
I
more.
would have got in
So that's
contact
one.
with animators.
I would have upped my concern. Yeah, I mean, trying to be more like I auditioned for everything I saw, but it might have been a better idea to try to work. Like, dude, some of the animators that like, you know, I was like, oh, I did like a voice for them on one of these years. I'll see their names after I'm watching cartoons, like Solar Opposites. I saw like I
Yeah,
forgot her
dude.
name, but like when a girl that was in our year,
Ton
and
of-
then Josue,
They-
who I was in a thing, he
The
works
animation
with
at CalArts
They're
is
the
I mean, they
coolest people.
bleed.
That's something
They
else.
bleed
They're
in
the
a
coolest
Cartoon Network, Disney, Nickelodeon, Adult Swim, all
yeah,
of it. They
it fills it.
But Jeremy was too
They
busy
fill their
making
halls.
blockbusters.
fuck boys, making fuck boys.
Yeah.
Past me in my first film.
making fuck boys.
I learned it all on set.
the
on set.
douchebags.
Oh
That was
no,
it.
it wasn't.
Dude, it's
was
so
Fuck Boys
funny
the
to me we did
planned
that.
Sequel.
Bro,
Yeah, that
it's
was
a
like the more
lifelong,
refined,
there's a lifelong sequel.
sophisticated, more not so
on my
much the
reel.
literalism of our experiences, but
This is
more
for those listening. Jeremy made a movie called The
transformed.
Douchebags. He chose not to cast me in it, and it was a masterpiece.
I'm sorry, Max.
You held auditions
sorry.
in the mod. I remember.
Who are you?
Dude, what happened to my brain? Why am I forgetting so many of these things?
Maybe I
That actually makes me
misremembered.
sad.
No, I'm being a jackass there because I'm lying. It was something else.
Somebody
there was
did.
there was
good,
another
thank God.
project. You
I
were
know
like
which
an
one you're talking
assistant-
about.
you
No,
were
no,
an
I know
assistant
which one.
director on it.
You.
Oh, we gotta.
That was the one.
You gotta bleep that name.
Oh, yeah.
Post though. I don't want to out her, but
Okay, I
yeah,
will.
that was.
I will. That was weird. Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
yeah,
hold on.
crazy
Real quick
project.
tangent.
That was a crazy.
Real quick
Wait.
tangent.
Yeah. Can we? Are we allowed to take
remember-
it out or what? Are we allowed to take
Yeah,
it out?
yeah,
All right. Let's
Yeah,
just
I can-
put the
I can- I can-
lowdown.
Wait,
This is
bleep the name.
Yeah.
Bleep the
Yeah,
name
yeah.
and
Yeah, I will.
This
I
is
will.
hilarious.
But
Okay,
like,
go for
I
it.
remember when we were filming the project, and like, I think her and Ariane had to like make out. Is that? Am I remembering this right? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll get sound. And then like we had done like several takes, and then I realized I was holding the boom the opposite way the whole time. Like I was holding the back of
And
the
I was
mic
like,
to the
dude,
thing.
we were going at it. Like,
oh man, so you missed out on those sweet banana noises.
And then I didn't tell anybody. I realized I know.
Jeremy makes me do really sexual shit on all his films. Every single one. Crazy shit.
But I didn't tell anybody. I just flipped the thing the right way and then just carried on, and nobody knew until
He was like the
afterward.
producer. He was like the producer or something like, dude, it was ridiculous.
It's fucking.
That was,
I
what was it
know
called?
it's weird. You gotta try on. I know.
I was a drug dealer.
Yeah, and I
Bleep
remember
that,
Max. You were making sketches with Chris Yarrow, and them boys.
Our boy Pac Rasmus.
Those are still on YouTube, and I want some of them taken down.
Dude, yeah.
What was it?
yeah.
Four tall guys? Is that right?
Yeah, 4 tall guys.
Oh,
and some of
yeah.
them, there was.
I
like-
remember the one about the boner and the screaming.
Yeah, so that I did not know. All good guys, creatively intense group, and I did not know how to advocate for myself. And basically, a huge amount of those sketches I would not do right now. Not like they're bigoted or aged weirdly. Just like I didn't want.
You don't like the feeling of them.
They weren't that funny. Like, there was just
Yeah.
there was so many of them. I'm like, this isn't really funny. But there was one that was like my baby, and I was really proud of how it turned out. Like I directed and wrote the whole thing, and I was
Nice.
so like I
Which
at
one
least
was
got
it?
that out of it. The water one or the drought. Like it's like the character of it was a guy that is so concerned about the drought in California that he like knocks a water bottle out of his friend's hand at first, and then he escalates it by shutting off the shower, and then he like keeps progressing it until it gets to the point where he's like, if I murder you and bury your body in the soil, the water will plant like 3 whole trees. And whatever, it was a dumb bit, but I was really thrilled with how that one turned out.
I love
Dude,
it.
I remember
love
that one. I really enjoyed that one. Dude, because you're such a madman, Max. But no, that is another thing. That's like probably second thing I would have done differently.
Madman Max.
Is Madman Max. I would have wanted to film way more stuff, and like all of us together. Like I would have wanted to be so much less precious with the things we were filming and making.
We should just have
you know what I
filmed-
mean?
We should have filmed
Yeah, and
everything.
just-
That's
So
true. That's
much
such a
more
good
Yeah,
point.
and just had fun.
collaboration, yeah.
Yeah.
Taking
just
like,
learned.
taking full. I don't think, at least for me, I don't want to speak for you two, but it sounds like a similar sentiment. Not realizing how special it is to be in a school setting at all, because I had just come from high
Yeah.
school, and to even just be around motivated young people is something special within itself. And then to
Yeah.
have the gift of a campus full of artists, of
Dude,
people
Yeah.
that are
you
studying.
can utilize to this day and like it's the whole of it. Like a lot of people in
and
LA,
we still do.
like,
Of course, I mean,
Yeah.
I've
the
had,
Calarts community
It's a big
is
alumni
strong.
network.
I
People
love it,
reach
dude.
out
I
to me
love
that
it.
I haven't talked to in a year or two. Hey, I need to do a self-tape. Can you help? Like, sure. And there's a really tight connection, but I think taking more full, not like taking advantage in that way, but just, yeah, I think I did not realize what a special thing it is to be on a campus full of creative, 1,000 people on a campus being creative, and just how fucking amazing that is. And it was and is, and like don't get me
Little
wrong,
laboratory.
there's plenty of people, exactly, there's plenty of people that are creative and I'm around and want to collaborate, this and that, but it was just everyone was in one place and motivated to just do art. And we don't get me wrong, we did plenty of great shit, but I do think one of my big regrets is not realizing and fully tapping into just how beautifully special something like that is.
You just gotta go to a party, bro.
Yeah, and it's tough because you don't know until you've done it, right? But it's like, I know what you mean. It's like,
And I was too
once
young
you
to get that.
Yeah, to really, and that's the tragic thing, is like, I think no matter how much we tell that to the people younger than us, they're still not going to really feel what it is until they have their own experiences. And so it's like, I guess that is just like the cycle, right? Whereas like you go back, but like along those
something.
Yeah, and it's like, oh wow, now that I have all these responsibilities, now I like miss that time where my only responsibility was like making sure I get to yoga on time.
But
you know?
but that's the thing. But that wasn't. But we didn't even, when we were at that age, we were reminiscing of like the other times where it's like where you didn't have like any responsibilities in that, and like
it's like high school.
It's always it's always gonna be
that journey.
Grass is always greener.
Exactly. Always looking to the future.
Yeah, but I guess
again, right? We were pissed. Yeah. We were pissed about we had to wake up early and then go to yoga and then go to speech.
And we're like, we
just
want to act. We just want to act.
Right.
We just want to get on TV,
now,
man. Like,
now,
I just want a movie. I'm gonna be at the
Oscars. How fucking badly the three of us, I'm assuming, at least me, would kill to like, oh my god, just have that.
Yeah.
I missed voice class.
Of course, that baked in technique and routine and constant.
That's the thing. That's what I think.
Rigorous training.
It's
great.
I haven't done Foo Dog in too long. Or the Textures.
Oh my god.
I haven't sung. I don't even know the songs Adam would have us sing. There's a girl that's Molly. Softwood.
I had to call him for my video game for texture work.
You called Adam?
I had to, because the voice I did.
He must have loved it.
He was thrilled, but the character.
I love that guy, man.
He's great. I love him too.
Yeah, he's really open. He's open to help.
He also just submits you for roles and stuff.
Dude, he cares. He
genuinely. We should go see him.
Yeah, I would love to. He gives a fuck. Anthony too, but.
Anthony's
I did this. Stop me if I talked about this last week, but the character I auditioned for.
Stop.
I did not think. I did not think I would book it. It's totally opposite me. It's one of the antagonists of the game, and he's this huge. You would look at him and you would expect John Cena or someone to voice him, Hulk Hogan, like these really intense, deep. And so I went balls to the walls with my audition, and then of course that's the one I booked. And I remember calling him, and I'm like, I did a voice that I don't know how I'm gonna sustain, and
that's the hardest shame.
Practiced, I'm not practiced. Right, I haven't done voiceover. Oh, dude, I mean. So for those listening, I not because of COVID now, but hopefully soon again. I'm in this show called Tri-Step Trip, and it's an incredibly rigorous physical show. It's a step dance show, and we're stomping on the ground. That's a mild way of putting it, but we're doing step dance, and we're dripping sweat for an hour and a half, or however long it is. The voiceover work.
Say no more. I'm there.
The voiceover work was almost more intense. I was lightheaded. I was nauseous. I was sweating by the end. Like, I was fucking out of it. I used my body. It was a longer session. It was 2 4-hour sessions. But, oh my God, I was
You were ripped.
No, I wouldn't say that.
The brutal world of
was
voiceover.
intense. It was
No,
intense.
you didn't tell that on the podcast last week.
But
So that's a fresh
yeah,
story
I had to
for
call,
the cast.
I had to call our old voice teacher because I was like, I did a voice that
Yeah.
I cannot sustain, and I need some refreshers on the technique, how to get into this. And he,
always
you know,
good.
he gave me
Yeah.
some helpful stuff. For
Train
sure.
your
Yeah.
instrument, whether it's your
Yeah.
body,
Train the instrument.
your
Mind,
your mind, your mouth.
your rectum.
Well,
Did you
Keep
know
it
that's
relaxed.
probably the third? What? Oh, yeah.
no,
keep
you
it
first.
No, I was gonna say that's probably. I was gonna say that's probably the third thing that I would have done differently at Calarts too is just like whether it is our projects in voice class or the monologues we do or our scenes, I would have put a lot more time in to really like enjoy
Hone-
it and build something because
Make
I feel like for the
choices,
most
yeah.
part, like I just did enough work where I was like, okay, I can be off book and like perform.
I'll
the
get a
scene.
good grade.
For a-
Right, it's an
Yeah,
assignment.
yeah, like for most of the scenes, you know, and there's a couple that I did more than that, like I really got obsessed, but you know, I would have tried to do that more.
What did you get
consistently.
obsessed with? What did you? Which?
Probably the most Richard III, honestly. Second year.
Oh yeah, man. Shakespeare was great. All three
I
of us
loved it.
loved.
Yeah.
All three of us found a big
Loved
passion
it.
for Shakespeare that year.
I
A lot
still
of
have
people
Yeah.
in
like,
our class
dude.
did,
That's
but I
still
remember
on
the
my
three of us were
my
like,
goal list. My goal list is to perform at the
Yeah.
RSC, man. I'm
Oh, I
like,
agree. Shakespeare,
inshallah.
Yeah,
whatever.
that'd be sick. My goal is different. I want to become like super famous, A-list, maybe on TikTok, maybe on YouTube. That's okay too. And then I want to be
Put me in a video.
stunt cast as Hamlet in Broadway.
that would be cool.
Like Jeremy from TikTok as Hamlet at the Richard Rogers
Then you can
Theater
go.
for
You
3
can go.
weeks.
You can go box Jake Paul and then become rich. You could do
That's
that.
so funny, dude. Yeah, you may have seen him box Jake Paul. Dude, it's so weird how all those like worlds of like just media are like kind of converging in weird ways,
Dude,
but are
it's-
still. I
I
guess,
almost
you know.
wish. Like low key. It's just you just see how people that have a following. It's like so many brands gravitate towards them. Like I really feel like the future of marketing and advertising is with like people who have following. Sorry, creatives with a following. It's like those people
Yeah.
are gonna be because they have a following and they have people that trust them and trust their opinion. If they make something creative featuring them, like dude,
Have you heard of BitClout?
I have
Yeah,
heard
I
a bit.
haven't.
Yeah, I have heard of BitClout. Yes.
My cousin's
What
a
is that?
huge part of it. This is because we are nearing down. So here's what I'll say. I'll explain BitClout,
Yeah.
and then we should do our little closing, our recommendations.
we'll
and-
close
I
off
have a
for
I have a
4
monologue.
minutes.
I have a monologue.
And I would be very curious to talk with you gentlemen about BitClout next week.
Is
Yeah.
it a
What
business
is.
opportunity?
It is a what's the word I'm looking for? What's Bitcoin? It's a digital
cryptocurrency.
It's crypto. It's a
Oh,
cryptocurrency.
if we want to talk about
Yeah.
cryptocurrencies, listen, I'm a struggling
no,
actor, but I
easy, easy.
invested.
Or are you talking about the
it's a-
NFTs, like the digital products
No,
now?
this is not
Non-fungible
NFTs.
token.
This is not a non-fungible token. BitClout is
Okay.
it is a digital. What the fuck just happened to my brain? What is it called?
Cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency. It's a cryptocurrency.
It's about
And
blockchain
It's a
technology.
cryptocurrency and a decentralized social network, whatever that means. Basically,
Okay.
if you're
I
an
know what it means.
artist or if you're a celebrity, I believe right now everybody who has a blue check mark on Twitter has one. You have your own coin, and people can buy it, and it fluctuates in price. So Beyonce is going to have a coin that if you want one of her coins, you got to spend, $10,000 versus me who has no credits, my coin would be $1, right? And it's already theoretically you could say if if enough people in Chicago buy my coin, I'll come do a live show. I'm throwing a party at this address. If you've got my coin, you've got the invite. What have you?
Wow.
These celebrities have a tangible price,
Currency.
a coin with an actual number on how valued they are, and when people sell
Sounds
it,
like
you
Black
go
Mirror.
down. It is. It's
Dude.
very similar to
Dude,
Black
isn't
Mirror.
it? And do you see how future is going
That's
towards like
crazy.
coins? Like I feel like we're going towards this like
it's
internet
crazy.
pirate
So my
Like world.
cousins who are very successful managers in the music industry love this, and I want to talk with them about it more because
we can bring him on.
Yeah.
he would fucking love that.
So let's do it.
Would he really? Would he
Let's
really?
do it.
I'll
also
hit
send him
up.
my
I'll hit him
mixtape.
up.
I'm a
He's
singer.
it would be a totally different vibe than this. He's a fucking genius. Forbes 40 under 40 and
I'll wear a suit.
The whole kit and caboodle. He's really all three of those kids on my dad's brother's side. They're geniuses. Two of them are music managers.
How'd
The
they
other
raise
one
them?
is the private chef for. I could go on and on about her celebrity clients. Priyanka Chopra posted about her on her story once. Like whatever. Huge
Priyanka
shit.
Chopra Jonas.
Chopra Jonas.
He would love to talk about it, but he is an incredibly business oriented guy. So it is to him the possibilities are unlimited from a business perspective in the arts. And I'm sitting here as a nobody artist.
I love
It's
that.
terrifying to me, the prospect of like all this, I'm going into auditions, they're asking me for my Instagram, my TikTok handle, this and that. Now they're going to ask my literal price. Like if this takes off, whatever. So I do think we should save this topic for next week because
So
this is
should we
obviously
get
bro.
BitClout?
Van Gogh would have 0 BitClout, bro. Isn't that
I'll
crazy
get
to think
BitClout,
about?
but do you have to have
Van
Twitter?
Gogh.
Are you on Twitter?
I am on Twitter. I don't tweet much.
Are you on Twitter, Jeremy?
I am. I mostly just read tweets. I don't really tweet though.
Okay, I think I used to be on Twitter telling
NT,
jokes.
yeah.
Like I would just recycle jokes, and that was my Twitter account. And they were so lame. Like some of the jokes are so. shit.
I don't know
So
why
I-
it didn't take off.
I don't know. I even put hashtag follow for follow, all that shit, man.
We should.
That's so
we
funny.
should start wrapping
Yeah.
up. We should do
We'll close out.
recommendations or
I recommend the Oscars. Watch the live stream of the Oscars. No, I'm just kidding.
Watch the last 5 minutes of the Oscars.
Watch where Anthony Hopkins accidentally wins and he's not there.
Francis McDormand wolfing. Howling.
Oh my god.
I guess it's a gentle reminder that it's not rigged because clearly they thought Chadwick Boseman would win and that's why they saved it as the last
For the last
announcement
thing.
to
Yeah.
celebrate him. And
Oh, was this
I
a
guess
ploy
it's
to
a-
make us think, oh, clearly it's not rigged? When in fact,
Will he
it
win?
was
I know. I
rigged.
was surprised. I'm surprised Picture wasn't last this year. But anyway, let's do it. Yeah, we could sign out, do our recommendations,
what you got?
and then talk
Jeremy?
about
What you
BitClout
got?
next week. Oh, yeah. So I'm Jeremy at Not Funny Funny Guy on all the socials except NT Funny Guy on Twitter. What the hell do I want to recommend? You know what I'll recommend, dude? I recommend I've been listening to these biblical lectures. They're like Jordan B. Peterson in like 2017. But it's like very
Jordan B.
literal, psychological. Yeah, it's like psychological kind of like he's looking to analyze the stories for like practicality and usefulness, not from the perspective of like, oh, these are things that happened. And it's a growing up Christian and not being Christian anymore. It is some of the most interesting, fascinating, words about the Bible I've probably ever heard, and that's my
Sure.
recommendation.
Send me the links.
I think we should
all.
everyone's
Oh,
recommendation, we should actually read them and like take them in so we can. So then maybe at the start of the next podcast. Yeah. So at the start of no, but that's whatever
Yeah,
book
it's
any
whatever, yeah, it could be
recommendation.
anything.
But by the next
recommend a
podcast.
TikTok.
Yeah, but by the next podcast we can discuss it. We can be like, okay, so we took your recommendation. I like it, or you're a piece of shit.
I'd love to try to do that. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, at least 15 minutes, right? I'll
15
at least
minutes.
look at each thing for like 15
Yeah,
minutes.
and we'll
see
be
what
quick
it's-
with it.
what
Be
it's
like, I took your recommendation and here's what I think.
Yeah.
I recommend
Okay,
it too.
all right. I say, who would like to go next? Who would like?
Sounds good to me.
I'll go next. So, I basically my name is Aryan Kassam, ARIYAN.Kassam, KASSAM.
The dot is his middle name.
No, the dot is actually my Instagram handle. I don't have no underscore. It's just Aryan.Kassam, and you can find me there. It's I do have a TikTok. It's called @DunyaBoy.
Oh my
I just do
lord.
Dunya stuff. I don't really know what
Dunya
I'm doing out
boy.
there. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to learn stuff on TikTok. But I will, every time I have a recommendation, I have what is called a resonance calendar, and I use Notion. It's like a technique from Ali Abdal. And basically, My recommendation
So many
is
recommendations
this.
at
No,
once.
but my recommendation is this app Notion, and to create a resonance calendar so that every article or video or whatever you see online, even a paragraph from a book, you can send it into Notion, into this app, and create a really cool table. And like, okay, here's a gallery view of all my references, and then you can get the date and everything. So it's it's a cool app.
This has all resonated
Okay.
with me.
This is
That
all
sounds
resonated
really
with me.
interesting.
A resonance
That is.
calendar. A resonance calendar. So when did you resonate with this thing and why?
Okay, I'll make a calendar. That's challenge
rad.
accepted.
Sure.
Take that
And then
recommendation.
you've got- You can
I can
see
even
what you
share-
were consuming in January versus. I mean, sure.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
And,
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay.
Memorization techniques. 9 ways to remember faster.
Sure. That's great.
That was one of them I sent there.
I'll have to check that out.
You should.
Okay, and Max.
I'm Jeremy, and
Right.
oh right. I'm
Snacks
Max.
Udell.
If you want to find me on social media, you gotta hunt me down. I'm not gonna just give them out. Ariane just said
He
it.
posts nudes.
That's
So-
good.
Yeah, so you gotta
It's really heavy stuff.
right.
You gotta earn it.
Heavy. They're not sexy nudes too. They're like really jarring. So you know
Yeah.
you gotta earn it. Right? You gotta
OnlyFans
find
at Max Udell.
it. What I
Find 'em.
recommend.
The
Okay,
cinema.
I've been really enjoying. It's not super accessible. I don't know if you two would have the means to read it, but I've been
Are
really
you calling me
enjoying.
illiterate?
No, it's a comic. I've been really enjoying Immortal Hulk. Is incredible.
Immortal Hulk.
It's a
I'll check the Pirate Bay.
psychological horror run of Hulk, and
Oh.
it's beautiful. The
graphics?
dialogue is gorgeous. The art is, oh my god, they make Bruce Banner's transformation
Where
into
do
the
you-
Hulk.
Where do you
It's
get your
terrifying.
comic books from?
My girlfriend for Christmas every year buys me a subscription to Marvel Unlimited. I'm a
Word.
big Marvel fanboy. So
love
I have a
that.
digital
There we go.
I have a digital subscription to the Marvel stuff, but yeah, the way they draw the transformation of Bruce Banner turning into Hulk is mortifying. Every time it's like this painful,
Yeah.
terrifying process, and there's like a point where Hulk hugs Bruce Banner and tells him he loves him. And it's like the comic has made me cry, it's made me scared, it's made me think, like it's just a beautiful it's beautiful. It's an
love that.
incredibly done
What an emotional journey.
meditation on bipolar and just mental depression and all these things personified through a guy that loses control of his body and also cannot die. You know. So yeah, I would recommend that. It's been really,
Wonderful.
really cool.
Yeah, and I'll see if there's a way I can get a peep at it. All right. Well,
I'd be
that's
curious.
episode 1 of our still untitled
All right, we have
podcast.
the prologue, which hopefully will have worse audio quality than tonight. Hopefully,
Yeah, and
this
that'll
is a
be
little
out already.
better.
I don't
Yeah.
know about.
and then hopefully we'll figure out a title by next week.
Listeners, if you've got any titles,
You 10,000 of you out there who are listening.
for all the listeners,
God help you.
for
I know,
you,
for all these
for
listeners.
those
Yeah,
who've
that's
been-
the way we send off. We just
for
gotta
those
say
who have
God
been
help you.
helped by God.
Just we hope God helps you at the end of this.
Perfect.
Inshallah, they find Dory.
Take care. Yeah, inshallah they find Dory.
Thank you for listening. Yeah, love you boys.
Calarts
both.
bless
love
you.
both of you. This is fun. Good
Love
shit.
both of you too.
we can get
Yeah,
off
there
the
we
air
go.
and then
Let me
start
cancel
talking
Right,
real
right.
shit.